Saberspark is a channel you may have heard of a lot more recently from either his content or the hate storm that has been slowly growing around him. If you somehow haven't heard of Saberspark before, he's generally known for his animation reviews and obsession with breeding, both of which have also seemingly fed into the hate he's been receiving over the past year. In this video I'm going to go through the various issues people have with him and give my thoughts as we go along. To give more context into why people hate Saberspark so much, we have to give some backstory into a situation that happened with Gryph0n. The initial post that kicked this all off came out in late 2023, accusing Gryph0n of grooming his now wife Claire Corlette. To give a summary of why this all came about, it was due to the two originally meeting each other while working on My Little Pony as voice actors. Claire was 14 at the time, while Gryph0n was 25. They then got together 5 to 6 years later, which stirred up controversy due to the age gap, with people coming to accuse Gryph0n of grooming due to their previous interactions together. In response to all this, there were various posts from Gryph0n, Claire, and his boss Katie, who is currently working with on a game called Billie Bust Up. The main tweet I've seen people use from Gryph0n as a response to the drama is when he responded to a user saying he took advantage of his professional dynamic with Claire. Gryph0n then responds to them saying, "I didn't take advantage of it. Claire and I became friends about 4 years ago. She asked me out and I turned her down. Then she asked me out a few more times and I finally said yes. Turns out we have a lot in common and we really like each other, so we got married." The end. To give an idea of the ages here, Gryph0n is saying that they only became friends 4 years ago when Claire was between 20 and 21, and he would have been around 30 at the time. Katie also echoed something similar over on Discord saying there isn't proof. He met her once to record a video that he didn't set up, and then they didn't speak for many years. Then she contacted him when she was 20 to meet up IRL. This was then suspected to be false after various posts were pulled where they were both interacting with each other in a way that is pretty weird, especially due to their ages at the time. It comes across a whole lot worse, especially if Gryph0n is saying that they weren't friends at the time. I'll go through some of these to give you an idea of why it's become such a big deal. There's a whole doc I'll leave in the description if you want to take a look for yourselves as well. The first one is back in 2015 where a user is adding Claire in a meme talking about her having a crush on someone, which she replied saying she can't tell because it's a secret. Gryph0n responds saying tell him and he'll give her a cookie, which Claire then says nice try, but he already knows. Whatever. The conversation ends with him saying he does, and that he's just messing with her. Obviously it's not clear whether the crush is in reference to Gryph0n here, but regardless it's pretty inappropriate for a 25-year-old adult to be taking interest in a 16-year-old's crush that he's supposed to have only had a professional relationship with at the time. Alongside this back and forth, there's various other posts where Claire's between 17 and 18, pretty much in the same vein as the one I've previously mentioned. In the first one, Claire's posting saying, "Why is she getting shamed for liking ugly guys?" and Gryph0n then replies to her saying, "Who are you calling ugly?" The second thread isn't as bad since he's addressing someone else besides Claire here, but it still comes across as a bit weird, since by Gryph0n's own admission, they weren't meant to have been friends at this time. The post is about them at a brony convention where I'm assuming Gryph0n's Hulk shirt got ripped, and they're all talking about their reaction and the replies. The important part starts with Claire saying, "Oh, I saw. I was out cold for about 6 minutes actually. The hotness was just out of this world, you know. Where's the dab emoji? At Gryph0n." One of their friends replies under saying, "Oh, I know Claire. It was so beautiful. It may not have shown on the outside, but on the inside I was eternally screaming and squeeing." Claire then says, "Friendly competition, eh?" And then Gryph0n finally responds saying, "Lol, you two sure know how to inflate a guy's ego." It gets worse with Claire responding under saying, "Oh, sorry, does this help?" with a bunch of kisses and hearts, with Gryph0n then ending the conversation saying, "All this flattery, are you trying to make me fall for y'all? Cause it's working." Here's another post also back in 2015 where Claire gets a hold of his phone and posts, "Claire is the best human in the entire world. Go tell her brands of shoes, spam her Twitter, hooray, I don't know." Gryph0n then clarifies underneath saying that Claire had just stolen his phone. They were also in quite a lot of videos doing collabs together with Michelle Kreber, one of which has since been deleted where they did aerobics together. I'm not sure what business a 25-year-old has doing aerobics with some 15-year-olds, but I'm guessing there's probably a reason this was taken down. Granted, it could have just been a cringe video, but stacked with everything else I've previously mentioned, it does come across as a bit suspicious. The original thread also posted a bunch of old YouTube comments from Gabe, which recontextualizes some of the interactions I've previously mentioned. Just to clarify, they are in regards to the other girl called Michelle Kreber, who is also the same age as Claire. In the comments of the video, people are asking if him and Michelle are dating, and instead of just shutting it down, he starts to engage with it, saying that it's not against the law and that his parents are 10 years apart as well. He does say that he's not implying anything by saying that, but that it's not bad to suggest that it could happen between two people who are 9 years apart. There's also another comment saying they're not dating anybody and not planning to date anytime soon, and that they have a good friendship that they're both happy with for the time being. It all just seems like the kind of thing you'd want to specifically avoid responding to, especially in this context. There's a lot of other instances I won't go through here, but I think you get the idea that there was clearly a lot more going on here than Gryph0n was portraying. From this point, this is where Saberspark comes into everything. Saberspark and Gryph0n were both friends, and Saber came out to defend their relationship on multiple occasions, in various posts and in his comments. This caused a lot of people to start hating Saberspark, so I'll go through his various comments now. The first main tweet from Saber that got a lot of attention was when he responded to the situation saying, "I rarely get involved in these things, but if my reputation is worth anything at all, then I'll use it to say the following. It was all on the level. You're right. Claire had a crush on Gabe, but Gabe never reciprocated until she was around 20 or so. It's weird, but it was legal. This is definitely not what I was expecting, since it makes everything that much weirder if Gabe was interacting with Claire all these years, while also being aware that she had a crush on him at the time. It's generally the responsibility of the adult in the situation to make sure there's appropriate boundaries in place, and if everything they've been publicly doing is something something to go by, that doesn't seem to be the case. Another comment from Saber people were pulling up was an Instagram comment he made over on Claire's father's Instagram after Claire made a post claiming that her father was abusive and didn't support her relationship with Black Gryph0n. Saber's comment reads, "You're a miserable human, Ian, and I'm so glad she has escaped the clutches of your despair, unwanted pride, and self-loathing. Here's to the happy future she can forge without you." This obviously didn't sit right with many people, since there's many of them already against their relationship and were still siding with the father regardless if he abused her or not. On a much less serious note, another reason people take issue with Saberspark is his content. He has a tendency to clickbait his content or use borderline NSFW art in his thumbnails. The most common examples are relating to furry media or old cartoons. This just comes across as gooner bait and gives people a bad first impression of him. Some of these videos will be on children's media and the thumbnail will mention this, so you'll have a video that could be targeted towards kids with a half-naked furry in the thumbnail. It comes across as a bit dodgy and feeds into that gooner stereotype that Saberspark has. The most recent example comes from his video on YouTube Brain Rot. In the thumbnail is an image of a pregnant character from the Max Design Pro YouTube channel, and beside it is Rocky Raccoon's animation of Luna. It comes across as a bit hypocritical for Saber to criticize YouTube Brain Rot content farms, but feed into this stereotype himself with his own content. There's also various clips or sound bites of Saber saying wild things, like when he mentioned the Japanese McDonald's advert and breeding.
I can really go for a cheeseburger right about now, with a side of breeding too.
Or his short on Victorious where he had a new cartoon crush unlocked. All of these on their own aren't too substantial, it's just minor criticism you can levy against him. However, these elements combined with the Black Gryph0n situation from earlier is compounded together and explains why a lot of people are starting to turn against Saber and causing his reputation to take a hit. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I could find in regards to why people seem to hate both Saberspark and Black Gryph0n. Feel free to let me know what you think of everything down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.